The 8 books I read in October and whether I'd recommend them to you with a yes, a no, or a maybe. Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanagh is a thriller about 2 women who connect through a shared pain and grief, and they then decide to take matters into their own hands. And like I've said before, I love it when women hatch a plan. This is a resounding yes, especially if you're in a reading slump. This is probably my top thriller of the entire year. Fewer Villains by ML Rio is a maybe depending on who I'm recommending it to. It's about a group of students studying Shakespeare at this elite art college. I loved the drama, I loved the character relationships, but if you have zero interest in Shakespeare, then I would say you're not going to like this book. I myself have only really read 2 or 3 works of Shakespeare. I'm sure there were lots of clever word plays and hidden code messages that I just couldn't pick up on. That said, if you're not familiar with Shakespeare, you are still absolutely going to be able to enjoy the story. Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall, this is absolutely a yes. I was hooked by this story. It's a blend of historical fiction, romance and mystery. It's set in a Dorset village in around the 1960s. This was not a 5-star for me though. I am finding that my enjoyment of a book goes down a little bit if I'm not rooting for our main character. The only character in this that I back with my full entire heart is Farmer Frank. He deserves the world and I just want him to be happy. I then had an art copy of Fallen Stars by Imani Eriu. This is the sequel to Heavenly Bodies and I'd give this a yes, but after the 40% mark. I couldn't work out if it was me just being confused and not able to piece things together, or if the author was not doing a great job of resituating the reader into the world and into the story. And I'm actually way more invested in some of the side characters than I am in our 2 main characters. There were some moments at the end that had me absolutely reeling. There are a couple of potential new storylines that I think are probably going to be explored in later books, and I'm absolutely here for it. If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia, this is a yes, but I just thought this was a very tastefully done autumnal slow burn romance. It had lots of 90s nostalgic autumnal atmosphere, and I just thought it was actually romantic. And believe it or not, not all romance books are. Wild Duck Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, yes, absolutely 5 stars. I'm not going to say too much about it because I do have a full review coming soon, but I love stories like this. It's a mixture of contemporary fiction and mystery in the most beautiful and unusual setting. There are so many characters to root for and it's an incredibly emotional read. I then read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which was my classic pick of the month. This is a classic horror story and I'd honestly say yes because it's short. I did listen to the audiobook because I found the writing actually quite difficult to get into. The twist obviously didn't land as much as it would have done if I'd read this when it was first published. I think it probably is a good one to pick up if you want to get into classics because it is under 100 pages. I then finished the month off with Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is a yes. This is another classic piece of Gothic literature. We're following a shy young woman who marries a wealthy widower and she moves with him to his grand estate Manderley only to find herself being haunted by the lingering presence of his first wife, Rebecca. It's my 3rd Daphne du Maurier book and this might be my favourite one. I mean, Rebecca is considered her masterpiece. It's definitely one that I finished and thought, yeah, I'd read that again immediately.